This podcast is for professional voice teachers to answer the question, how do I grow my teaching business and even break out of that one-on-one lesson model so that I can reach and teach who I want whenever I want. I'm your host, Allie Tyler, voice teacher of over a decade and marketing and business coach for fellow voice teachers. Welcome to the Voicepreneur podcast. Hello, lovely voice teacher. Welcome to another episode of the Voicepreneur podcast. Thank you, as always, for spending your time with me, for watching this video, listening to the podcast, however you see fit. I am so happy to be spending my time with you because today we are talking about something that is so sexy. Oh, so sexy. We're talking about systems. Do we love systems? Are they sexy? No, typically they are not, but we are going to make them sexy. You know why? You cannot function as your best top-level business-owning badass if you don't have systems in place, my friend. They are so important. They are so important. And you know what? Over the years, trust me, I totally understand. As a creative little wiggly-brained person, I totally get that systems feel really overwhelming. But over the years that I have been cultivating my systems inside of my business, specifically as a voice teacher and as a content creator, which is really a lot of us who are listening to this podcast, systems are going to become your very best friend, even as a creative, squiggly-brained, wiggly-brained, I don't know what I said before, whatever kind of noodly-brained people that we are, systems are going to become your friend, I promise you. So what systems are going to help you do is they are going to help you get your life back. They are going to help you work smarter and not so hard. They're going to allow you to automate things in your business that can be automated, meaning they can just go on autopilot. They can do their fancy automated thing and we don't have to do anything. And don't worry, we're going to talk about that in just a second. This is going to allow you more time with yourself and your family and your friends. And maybe you could even get some time back to do crazy things like build online courses and make different offers and do all the stuff that we talk about all the time. Here's the thing, my friend. I am not going to sugarcoat this. Doing this online business thing is so much work. It is a lot of work. There are a lot of things that are involved in it. And if you don't have some way of staying on top of it and being organized with your time, it's just going to kill you. I'm going to be real. It's just going to burn you out. And I don't want that for you. So my hope is that this podcast episode is going to inspire you to really take charge of your systems. You know, when I did this in my business, and I should actually say that you are always going to be doing this in your business. It's not like a one-time thing. What happens is since your business grows because you have systems, when you have the systems in place and you are growing your business, then other things are going to get inside of your systems that weren't there before. And then you're going to have to make new flows and new rhythms and new systems and maybe modify them if new feels a little scary to you. But all I'm saying is that this is something that you will continually do. The goal is for you to create a foundation that makes it so that when you are doing these things again in your business, and I kind of think about it as cycles, like maybe it's a year cycle or a 2-year cycle or a 3-year cycle, right? Totally depends on your business. But we want to have a solid foundation in place so that when you go to up-level these systems, it doesn't feel like the absolute end of the world because your foundations were so solid and your systems are so good. And it's actually really not that hard. And I'm doing this right now in my life. You know, I am here on YouTube and the podcast is on YouTube. And I had talked about in a previous episode where I was really not wanting to do this and really afraid to do this. But now I have found a new system and a new process that is actually allowing this process of creating videos to be so much fun and so easy. I had to get outside of my box of how I normally do things. And that is hard. Trust me, I get it, especially when you're, oh my gosh, especially when you're trying to do content and you're like, why did Reels suddenly change? Oh, and now this is a new iteration of Instagram that wasn't there before. And yeah, you know, it's a crazy wild ride. We're always going to have to be changing. I get it. I am doing the exact same thing. I'm doing it literally right here, right now with you in real time. So trust me when I say that when you get your systems in place, it doesn't feel so scary, and you are going to be this brave business owner who is willing to take risks, who is totally okay with doing things a little bit differently. And maybe, sometimes you're going to batch record content, and then sometimes you're going to not batch record content, and it's not going to totally throw you off. This is all about being in tune with what you need in that period of time that you are working on the thing that you're working on, and then flowing from there and allowing those systems to help you do such a thing. So let's talk about how to create these systems. And I want to break this down so simply that you finish this episode being like, well, that wasn't that groundbreaking. Because it's not. It's really not that groundbreaking. Organizing is not a groundbreaking thing. It is all about just doing the thing. So save this episode because it really is something that I want you to do. You can listen to this in your car or listen to this, multitasking, whatever it is that you are doing, and that's fine. But the goal is for you to actually do the things that I talk about in this, and then you will feel so much more organized and you will feel so much better about your business. So here's the first thing that I would recommend. Number one, you're just going to write down all of the things that you do in your business, and I'm talking voice teaching, content creation, marketing, all of the things, and just write them all down if they are something that you are doing regularly. So things like posting graphics, posting videos, posting reels. Maybe you have episodes like I am doing where you put out an episode every single week or a YouTube video every week. Maybe you are onboarding new students all the time, which, hey, that is awesome. Good for you. And that is something that you are constantly doing, is onboarding new students. Maybe you are responding to emails. Maybe you're sending email broadcasts to your list. Maybe you're picking out music for all of the students that you have. That's a really big one, right? Or you're recording for them. Maybe you're recording warm-up tracks for them. Maybe you're constantly following up with parents. You're doing general admin work. You're doing payment and scheduling and all of the things that make your studio run. Write it all down because it's a lot. And it's very important to actually see all of the things that you are doing on a regular basis. The little tip here, if your mind is drawing a blank when you are making this list, go and check out all of the previous weeks inside of your planner. So if you are somebody who handwrites things, or maybe you've got some of the things inside of Google Calendar or Apple Calendar or something like that, that's a great place to go and check out all of the things that you are doing all the time. After you've done this, this is the very important part. This is actually the most important part, and this is the part that everybody skips. Once you have your list of all your things, you're going to go through each of those things and write down all of the subtasks of those tasks. So what are all of the things that you need to do to, let's say, post a reel, right? So first, you're going to be stalking out trending audio, and then maybe you're going to be jotting down or outlining the different ideas that you have. Then you're going to be recording it. Then you're going to be editing it. Then you're going to be adding a caption to it. Don't forget that cover image. If that is something that you do with your reels, then you got to post it and you got to reshare it on stories, and then you got to engage with the thing. That's a lot of steps. And this is why nobody wants to do this part, but this is the part that we want to systemize. We need to understand your processes for each of the things that you are doing in your business. Because here's something that I want you to think about. Let's say you did want to hire somebody to help you offload these tasks. And hey, I did it. We do it. That's what we do. That's why we hire people, right? That is an amazing, amazing thing. And the question to ask yourself is, am I ready to hire someone? Would they be able to come into my world and see my systems and my processes and totally know how to help me? That is so huge. That is so huge. When I was doing this myself, this was such a great motivator for me because I knew that I needed to hire someone. I knew I wanted to. And I also knew I needed to get my shit together. I needed to actually have systems that made sense and not things that were just in my head, because I think a lot of us do that, myself included. Oh, well, I know how to do it. I know how to make that Canva post. I know how to change that and tweak that and fix that. And you know what? Someone else can do that too. And I know that's really hard for us control freaks. Trust me, I get it. But it feels so much better when you actually allow that to be an invitation for yourself to be like, I do want to hire help. And I need to systemize my processes so that when I hire help, that process of them coming into my world is seamless and it feels really easy and feels really fun and enjoyable for both of us. And yes, we're going to be learning things along the way, of course, but I need to really have my systems in gear so that they know what the heck they are doing. So maybe that's an invitation for you. It was for me. And what I love to do inside of my business is treat everything like a season. This is a season that I'm going to be working on this. This month, I'm going to be working on that. And just go about it like that. Make your focus be this summer, or whenever it is that you are listening to this, your systems. Let it be that you are going to be focusing on your systems and writing out these processes. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to write out all of the different steps that you need to take in order to make all of the things on that previous list actually work. A really important one that I want to focus on for a hot second here is that onboarding process. That process that somebody goes through when they are interested in voice lessons to actually signing up and becoming your student. That process is so important, and it is something that so many of us are working way too hard to make happen. It is life-changing. I highly encourage you to really write out and see if there is any way that you can make this simpler. My dear friend, we are in 2023, and 2023 is the year where AI is taking over the world and things are happening technologically that are just totally ridiculous and awesome and a little bit scary. And I bring this up because you have so many options at your fingertips. You have me, of course, and inside of the Amplify program and the Voicepreneur program, I teach you exactly how to automate your onboarding process. But you can also just look. You can look at resources and softwares and different companies that can literally help you with this exact thing. Make that process not so dang complicated for yourself, because it doesn't need to be, and it's only burning you out, and it's not helping your business at all. All right, so now that you have done these two lists, you have the one list that has all of the different things that you are doing in your business, and then you have the list that has all of the subtasks for each of those things. And I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but it's going to feel so good when it's on paper. The last little bit is to make a third list of the projects that you're working on. What I mean by project is that this is typically going to have an end. It's going to have a start and it's going to have an end, and it is something that is going to benefit your business, such as writing an online course, making a freebie, setting up a sales funnel. That is definitely something that is a project and is going to take a little bit of time, but once you do it, it is set up and it is done, right? It is done. There's an end. Another thing is updating your website. That's a really big one that a lot of us are working on. And then maybe you have some sort of collaboration or a live event that is happening. Maybe you're collaborating with another voice teacher or another singer. There's a lot of different ways that we are collabing these days. And that is often something that you got to sit down and map out inside of that list as well. So you're going to do the same process as you probably could have guessed. You're going to have that list going of your actual projects that are happening. And then you are going to go through each of those and comb out all of the different action steps that go with each of those items. Once you have finished that, you are now ready to get onto a platform like my favorite, Asana. I love Asana. You can also use Trello. These are competitive platforms. They're basically doing the exact same thing. I personally like Asana a tiny bit more because you can actually schedule those subtasks that we were talking about. And maybe in Trello you can do that now. I actually don't know. But back at the time when I was using Trello, you couldn't do that. So that's why I ended up switching to Asana. And Asana and Trello are organizational platforms that are going to help you actually organize your systems and your business. And so what's so great about this is that now when you have everything inside of these projects and these boards and these tasks and subtasks, you can start adding deadlines and due dates, and you can start adding the different processes of each and everything. This is going to make your life so much easier. It's going to allow somebody else to come into your world who you may want to hire to help you keep up with all of these things, because just because you got to organize doesn't mean that that's the end of it, right? You got to actually keep up with the system. You got to stay on top of your boards and click, I did that thing and I did that thing and I did that thing, right? And that's also a practice for sure. I certainly hope that hearing all of this helps you and inspires you and relieves you a little bit, because it may be a lot of work to actually sit down and do this, but it's not hard, right? It's not hard work. It's such important work. So anytime that you are feeling like, I don't know if this is actually productive, like I'm literally just sitting here and putting things into Asana, I am telling you, my friend, if you stick with it, it will be one of the best things that you could ever do for your business. It's going to save you in every regard so that you never wake up on a day going, oh crap, I got to post, or I got to send that email, or oh my God, that online course that I've been really wanting to write for like 10 months. How is that still not a thing, right? It's a lot of work. And the only way that you can keep your head above the water is if you make these systems happen. So I hope that that gives you a little fire under your booty so that you can feel so good about your life come the next season. And as always, if you need any support around this, come and find me over at the Voicepreneur with any of the links inside of the show notes. And we have a whole community of voice teachers to support you as well. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit like and subscribe and share it. Please share it with some of your voice teacher friends who you feel like would benefit from this show. We are a community. We are not in competition with one another. We want to support each other's businesses because all of us have something really beautiful and unique to offer. So share it with 3 of your voice teacher besties, subscribe and follow, and if you would please rate and review it over on Apple Podcasts, that would be so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I can't wait to hear how this episode resonated with you, and if you are going to be working on your systems, I will catch you in the next episode.